meeting Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be...
When Donald Trump was asked about Keir Starmer, his reaction showed he has not forgotten some of the harshest insults Starmer and the Labour Party once threw at him. From calling Trump a sociopath, dictator, racist, pathetic little man, and more, Labour set the tone for their dealings with him. And now Keir Starmer faces payback from Donald Trump, a man known for holding grudges and openly promising that he will strike back. At the start of his presidency, Trump may try to appear calm by calling Starmer a decent individual, but everyone knows what he really means. Already, Trump made his point clear by excluding Starmer from the inauguration while leaders like Italy's Prime Minister were invited, breaking a long-standing tradition. So how did Keir Starmer lose his balance? And what exactly is Trump preparing? In this video, we'll break down the full story. Starmer thought he could mock, dismiss, and openly confront Donald Trump without facing consequences. He assumed that since Britain has always been America's closest ally, the special relationship would continue no matter who was in charge. But Trump does not work that way. He is someone who remembers his rivals and strikes back without hesitation. And now Starmer is realizing just how badly he miscalculated British politics. Like this one, don't forget to like the video. And subscribe to Dark British. Believe it or not, over 98% of viewers watch our content without hitting the follow button. Subscribing is completely free.
But for the liars and cheaters and fraudsters and censors and imposters who have commandeered our government, it will be their judgment day.
From being excluded from Trump's inauguration to now facing financial retaliation, Starmer's government is left stunned as Britain's influence in Washington crumbles before their eyes. Labour spent years mocking Trump, calling him racist, a danger to democracy, and even a political clown. But now Trump holds the power, and he is not the type to forget.
Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologise for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologise, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf? Given that most of his cabinet signed a motion to ban President Trump from addressing Parliament, will the Prime Minister show that he and his government can be more than student politicians by asking you, Mr. Speaker, to extend an invitation to President Trump to address Parliament on his... Sound like he wants to invite President-elect Trump to Parliament. He needs to look after the special relationship. The US is our single biggest trade partner. Given the risk of increased tariffs on UK exports, which threaten our manufacturing sector, will the Prime Minister commit now to continue the negotiations on our free trade agreement with the US, which the Biden administration cancelled?
However, let's be clear. Trump's dislike for Starmer goes far beyond politics, it's personal. Labour officials even crossed the Atlantic to campaign for Kamala Harris, an unforgivable move of meddling in an American election. This wasn't just casual remarks from politicians. Starmer's Labour Party actively worked against Trump's return to office. In response, Trump vowed to take legal action against Labour for interfering in US politics.
We start in the US, where Donald Trump's presidential campaign has made a legal complaint against the Labour Party here for what it claims is illegal foreign contributions and interference in the US election. A statement from the Trump-Vance campaign says the far-left Labour Party has inspired Kamala's dangerous liberal policies and rhetoric. In recent weeks, they've recruited and sent party members to campaign for Kamala in critical battleground states, attempting to influence our election. A now-deleted social media post from a senior Labour official said that there were 10 spots available to travel to the US and that the party would sort housing for volunteers. But Labour officials say activists who have been campaigning for Kamala Harris are doing so in their personal capacity and are not organised or funded by the party.
The Labour Party has played down accusations by Donald Trump's campaign team that it has interfered in the US election by sending volunteers to campaign for Kamala Harris. The Trump team complained to the US Federal Election Commission after Labour members were sent a message on the social media platform LinkedIn asking people to travel to the United States.
It's up to private individuals to choose what they do with their money and their time. It's not unusual for supporters of a party in one country to campaign for a sister party in another country. It happens both way round, as it has done this time, but none of this was organised or funded by the Labour Party, and that's quite proper.
And now Trump is serving his payback. In Washington, Labour is no longer seen as a partner but as an opponent to everything Trump stands for: national sovereignty, anti-globalism, and economic nationalism. Trump pushes tax cuts and industrial revival, while Starmer pushes globalist rules. Trump builds alliances on military strength, not paperwork. Starmer leans on soft, European-style diplomacy. Before we continue, quick question: are you enjoying this video? If yes, please like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive updates on the dramatic shifts in British politics. Let's move on. Trump is also pushing direct trade deals with nationalist leaders like Italy's Meloni and Argentina's Milei. To him, Keir Starmer is just another weak, pro-China figure, hardly worth trusting as an ally. Meanwhile, Starmer scrambles for relevance, trying to win him over at every step. But it simply won't work.
On behalf of His Majesty's Government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership. It is a uniquely close bond. Together, we have defended the world from tyranny and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity. With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom, I know that depth of friendship will continue. The United Kingdom and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic. Since our first meeting in September, the President and I have spoken about the need to deepen and invest in the transatlantic relationship. We will continue to build upon the unshakable foundations of our historic alliance as we tackle together the global challenges we face and take our partnership to the next level, focused on shared opportunities ahead for growth. I look forward to our next meeting as we continue our shared mission to ensure the peace, prosperity, and security of our two great nations. The special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to flourish for many years to come.
However, if Starmer believes Trump will ever treat him seriously, he's fooling himself. The only way that could happen is through complete submission, following Trump's lead, bending to his demands, and reshaping Britain's policies exactly as Trump dictates. In simple terms, that's not partnership, it's obedience.
I was in government when Trump came in, and this is a foreshadowing for the Prime Minister of what is going to come under a Trump administration. They will be derailed almost every day by something that the President says or what the White House releases or a decision that they make that is going to distract from what it is the government wants to talk about. I mean, we had situations in Downing Street where Trump would wander out onto the White House lawn in front of the cameras and say, oh, something's happened in the UK, I'm going to go and call Theresa, and suddenly the phone would ring in the Prime Minister's office. Oh, God, the President's on the phone. And this is a foreshadowing for it.
Nothing highlighted Starmer's irrelevance more than his absence from Trump's second inauguration. While Italy's Giorgia Meloni, Argentina's Javier Milei, and Nigel Farage, the champions of a rising nationalist wave, were welcomed with open arms, Starmer was nowhere to be found. Even worse for him, Britain's own right-wing populists were given red carpet treatment. Nigel Farage was showcased at exclusive Trump gatherings, mingling with Republican donors and senior advisors, while Starmer was left entirely sidelined.
You have a man from Europe, I don't know if he's here, I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me, I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage. He's a little bit of a
Do you think you are Britain's Trump?
Not really, no. I think we're very different. But I think we think the same on many things, certainly.
You've spent a lot of time campaigning with him. What have you learned from him?
I think he's learned quite a lot from me. I think it goes both ways, yeah.
What's he learned from you?
Oh, I think he was watching my speeches in the European Parliament for many years.
Really?
Before he decided to run, yes.
He's told you that?
I know that to be true.
However, Peter Mandelson, Starmer's pick for UK ambassador, was openly mocked behind closed doors. His name is tied to the corrupt globalist elite, and Washington insiders knew it well. The message could not have been clearer: Trump's America does not recognize Starmer's Britain. And this is only the start. Trump's grudge isn't just symbolic, it's about raw power. He has already suggested hitting partners with tariffs if they refuse to follow his lead. And right at the top of that list,
we're going to put tariffs on outside countries and outside people that really mean us harm. They want to, well, they mean us harm, but they basically want to make their country good. Look at what others do. China's a tremendous tariff maker, and India and Brazil and so many countries. And so we're not going to let that happen any longer, because we're going to put America first. Always put America first. That's what's going to happen. We're going to establish a very fair system where money is going to come into our coffers, and America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before.
Now Trump's economic team is preparing to hit the UK with tough trade demands, fully aware that Starmer holds little to no leverage in Washington. Labour's pro-China stance only makes Britain an easy target for American retaliation. To Trump, Starmer looks like a globalist puppet, more focused on Beijing than on London. Starmer's desperation for a UK-US trade deal gives Trump all the power. He knows Starmer will be forced to accept humiliating terms just to prevent economic damage. Under Trump's pressure, Britain's access to American markets could shrink sharply. The result, a potential disaster for the UK economy, resting squarely on Starmer's shoulders.
I will deal with whoever is the president of America.
It's very possible that Donald Trump will return to the White House at the start of the next year. Your team has, I think, quite close links to parts of the Biden administration. Have you had any contact with the Trump team?
Well, look, you're right. We do have close links with the Biden administration. That is very important to us, particularly in terms of our history, our traditions, and our values as a Labour Party. But ultimately, later this year, it falls to the American people to decide who they want as their president, and I will deal with whoever is the president of America. The special relationship, the long-standing relationship that we've had, not least on nuclear deterrence, is far stronger than the identity of the next president of the US.
Have you had any outreach or ties with the Trump campaign, the Trump operation so far?
No.
So Keir Starmer, the United States and France are Britain's biggest allies. You become Prime Minister, there could be a world in which Trump and Marine Le Pen are in office. How would you feel about this?
It's for voters in America and France to decide who they want as their leaders. And if I'm privileged enough to come into office to serve this country, I will deal with the leaders of other countries as they've been elected in by those that live there and those that voted them in.
As if Starmer's problems weren't already severe, he now faces the wrath of Elon Musk. Musk isn't just a billionaire, he's a powerful figure in global politics and firmly aligned with Trump's agenda. And has made no secret of his dislike for Keir Starmer. For months, Musk has used his platform to steadily chip away at Starmer's credibility, calling out his failures on issues like grooming gangs, his clampdowns on free speech and online dissent, and his blind loyalty to European bureaucrats.
Why is the guy who is probably the richest man in the world setting out, as he has done, saying that he is going to undermine the British government, that he's trying to get rid of a recently democratically elected government in this country? That is not good, Barry, for democracy.
You belong to a party that sent activists to America to actively plot to, and I quote, kill Elon Musk's Twitter. Labour activists In a centre for countering digital hate that was set up by a certain Morgan McSweeney, happens to be Keir Starmer's chief of staff. I wonder why Elon Musk has suddenly got a really strong interest in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Because let's be honest, Barry, all of those statements that Labour MPs made about Donald Trump, all of those bizarre statements they made about Elon Musk, guess what? These guys don't really like that. They don't like being abused. They don't like being insulted. So they're going to call you out when you fail, like when you fail with these white working class girls in communities.
Well, look, it is about the richest man in the world trying to undermine democracy. That is wrong. And if you can't see that, Matt, then I would be very surprised.
I've spent more of my time recently looking at how the Labour Party has been undermining free speech and free expression.
On the question of Elon Musk, look, I think most people are more interested in what's going to happen to the NHS, frankly, than what's happening on Twitter. Child sexual exploitation is utterly sickening. Utterly sickening. And for many, many years, too many victims have been completely let down by perverse ideas about community relations, or by the idea that institutions must be protected above all else. And they've not been listened to and they've not been heard. Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves. Those who are cheerleading Tommy Robinson, not interested in justice. They're supporting a man who went to prison for nearly collapsing a grooming case, a gang grooming case. These are people who are trying to get some kind of vicarious thrill from street violence that people like Tommy Robinson promote. And those attacking Jess Phillips, who I'm proud to call a colleague and a friend, not protecting victims. Jess Phillips has done 1,000 times more than they've even dreamt about when it comes to protecting victims of sexual abuse throughout her entire career. But when the poison of the far right leads to serious threats to Jess Phillips and others, then in my book, a line has been crossed.
Musk's non-stop public attacks have pushed Labour MPs onto the defensive, scrambling to contain the damage. But the reality is, Musk's reach is enormous, and his close partnership with Trump means Starmer's problems will only intensify. Musk has even suggested launching fresh investigations into Labour's failures, a move that could deeply embarrass Starmer's government on the world stage. On top of that, he has openly backed Reform UK, giving Nigel Farage's movement a surge of legitimacy. At this stage, Trump and Musk are moving in lockstep. Starmer isn't just up against a US president, he's facing one of the world's richest and most influential men. And to many in Britain, that man is being praised for standing up to Starmer.
They want Elon Musk gone, X turned off, and freedom of speech stamped out. Starmer himself has said he's going to look at social media laws in the wake of the riots and even revisit the Online Safety Act. And right on cue, of course, the Westminster elite are now circling. Guardian columnists got their knickers in a twist, saying Musk should be on trial in the UK for inciting the riots. And Keir Starmer's champagne socialist biographer, Tom Baldwin, called for regulation of social media platforms, even saying free speech was not absolute. Make no mistake, the minority racist idiots who caused the worst of these riots have opened the floodgates for a power grab of our civil liberties under this Labour government. And it's a crying shame that it's a US-based South African who's the only one with the balls to stick up for British citizens.
With Trump refusing to engage and Musk actively working to weaken his government, whispers are now spreading through Westminster about whether the special relationship can ever be restored while Starmer remains in power. For many inside Labour, the answer seems obvious: no. If Starmer stays in office, Trump will keep punishing Britain economically, leave the UK on his blacklist, and lock in the image of Britain as weak, irrelevant, and disposable. The only way to rebuild ties with Trump's America, some argue, is for Labour to replace Starmer with a leader not despised by the White House. And as time goes on, more Labour MPs will inevitably start asking whether Starmer is truly worth the damage he's causing.
Nonetheless, I think there is the possibility of severe turbulence ahead. And, there is a group of very, very powerful probably they've got the intellectual edge at the moment, the Blairites. And I'm thinking of people like Wes Streeting and lots of his allies, Liz Kendall being one of his allies and stuff, inside, the reformers inside government. And there is the soft left, who would probably gather, as it were, under the Angela Rayner banner these days, I think. But Louise Hay would certainly be part of that instinct. And I just really, really hope they don't go to war with each other. Because if that happens, then I think the British public will say, they're exactly like.
Now the question is, how long before Labour realises that the only way forward is to remove their anti-Trump leader and seek Washington's forgiveness? In this situation, Trump holds all the power while Starmer has none, and the humiliation for Keir Starmer is only just beginning. What do you think? Will Donald Trump punish Starmer and the Labour Party by breaking the special bond between the US and the UK? Isn't it clear that the only path for Britain to restore those ties is by replacing Starmer? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Trump has taken Labour's remarks personally? If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for updates on British politics and the changes shaping it. Until the next video, stay tuned.